Have you ever felt trapped by family expectations during the holidays, wondering if you're the only one, dreading showing up and having to be on guard in every conversation with certain family members? Well, you're not alone. If you are battling guilt, pressure, and tension with extended family, this is the episode for you. Today, we're tackling the challenging topic of setting boundaries with love and intention so that you can protect your peace and focus on relationships that truly matter, especially during the holidays. I remember growing up and every holiday was a really big deal. We're talking about the whole family gathered together, grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, you name it. And as much love as there were in those family gatherings, there was just as much tension sometimes. Unspoken rules, expectations, and a strong sense that you just don't rock the boat. And let me tell you, in the South, there's this unspoken rule that family always comes first. I mean, bless your heart if you don't show up for every single family event because you will most likely be the topic of conversation. As I got older, I started realizing that some of those relationships were draining me and even holding me back from the person that God was calling me to be. And I want to talk today about that because I know that I'm not alone. I know there are amazing people out there that have incredible families, and that's wonderful. But there are also those that don't, that struggle in their relationships. And it's time we stop letting the pressure of generational influence dictate how we live our lives, especially when those relationships aren't good for our physical, emotional, or mental health, and especially those little ones we're raising.
Welcome to There Will Be Joy. I'm your host, Lauren Alonso, and I am a wife and Southern mama of 4 and counting. I'm that crazy friend of yours who's always ready to dream big with you, cheer you on as you dance to the beat of your own drum, and help you find the silver lining in every situation. I'm here as your host to help inspire you to live with joy, equip you with every listen, and empower you in your journey. I believe that life is a series of stories worth telling. And in this podcast, I'm going to share my own stories, the stories of others, and practical tools to help you explore how to live with intention and purpose no matter what is thrown your way. My hope is that you smile a lot, cry a little, and laugh so hard that eventually you pee your pants. Not kidding, friend. You are welcome at our table, so pull up a seat.
I'm going to be vulnerable here with you. When I got married, I got silent on social media. I lived in a constant state of fear, sharing our family story with the world that I had committed to finding community in online. It was a space that I had felt comfortable in for so long. However, suddenly that changed because blending families gets complicated. As I was working towards adopting my husband's children as my own, I was hesitant that we couldn't share anything that could be manipulated or taken out of context, no matter how sweet or special it seemed to us. I was just super protective. When I finally started to feel the courage to come out of hiding in my shell and began sharing publicly, I chose a very hot topic, the topic of home birth. Some of our family members disagreed and they were very loud and vocal about it. And in their defense, they are medical professionals, but these threats and concerns were extremely loud and nasty. And while I wasn't offended, it provided a much needed reason to pause and reconsider boundaries with our extended family. This meant figuring out how much time we wanted to spend with them, not allowing certain topics to be brought up, and how much access we gave them to our life. I felt a very strong conviction to keep sharing my story with the online world, but I knew I would have to put up boundaries to keep myself obedient and attuned to God and how He wanted me to show up gracefully. The question isn't, will our family disagree with our decisions? Or will they say things that hurt me? It's a matter of when. I cannot control their thoughts, their concerns, or what they say. The only thing I can control is how I let it affect me when they do say these things, whether they are intentionally for my harm or not. It's only a matter of time until we make a decision that doesn't align with their values and experiences, and that's okay. It also doesn't mean I should act on their beliefs and change my own beliefs.
Hey friends, if you love simplifying life with handpicked treasures for your home and family, you've got to check out our Amazon storefront. I've curated shopping lists for everything from kids and motherhood to holidays, crafting, and even essential oil DIY supplies. Plus, you'll find my favorite picks for cooking and family activities. Head to the link in the show notes to explore and find something special that brings you joy every day.
When God calls you to something, He is not always calling you into something comfortable or easy. He's just simply calling you to obey. Where He's calling you or what He's called you to is up to Him. But the obedience part, that's up to you, friend. Now let's turn to scripture for a moment because the Bible has a lot to say about boundaries. Have you ever noticed that? Remember Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That's a call to be mindful of what we allow into our lives, including our relationships. And in Matthew 10:34-36, Jesus himself said he came not to bring peace, but a sword, setting a man against his father and a daughter against her mother. And he wasn't saying that he was about literally breaking up families, but he was pointing out that our commitment to him to live righteously might cause division, even within our own families. If you're looking for some further navigating on this and these tough relationships and topics, there is a book called Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend, and it is a great read. I read it years ago. They do some highlighting on setting healthy boundaries and how it's okay just to say no to others, because when you say no to them, you're saying yes to your values and our mental and emotional health and ultimately God. When we create boundaries, we are protecting what God has entrusted to us, children. And sometimes that means saying no to family dynamics that don't serve our growth or the well being of us as a family unit. Now, you might be wondering how the world you do this. We're getting to that. I know you are thinking, but Lauren, family is family. And yes, families are a huge part of who we are. But here's the thing, God gave you your family to raise. He entrusted you with those children, not your mama, not your aunt, not your sister. And sometimes the best way to honor that and your family is by protecting them from harm, even if that harm is coming from inside your family. It's not easy to break free from these expectations that come with generational influence, especially not here in the South. Maybe your family has always done things a certain way, and stepping out feels like you're betraying them. I am the black sheep, in case you didn't realize by now. But maybe this is also a time to do something different. It's a powerful reminder that the best choice for your family is already inside of you. God has placed wisdom and discernment in your heart, and it's okay to listen to it. You have the freedom to set boundaries and values that are best for your immediate family. When you make these decisions with intention and purpose, you cultivate confidence that comes from knowing you're honoring God and prioritizing the well-being of those closest to you. It's about choosing to live in peace and making room for what God has planned for you. And let's not forget, peace isn't just the absence of conflict. It's the presence of God's love, grace, and truth in every aspect of our lives.
I've got some super exciting news. If you're looking for delicious, tried and true recipes that your whole family will love, I've got something super special for you. My virtual cookbook, Simple and Southern, is packed with kid-approved recipes for every meal, including our favorite dessert. And the best part is, it's available now. I'm continuing to add recipes over time. You'll keep receiving these updates and your collection will keep growing. Head on over to Grits, Grace, and Granola, grabbing a copy of it today. Let's bring some Southern comfort to your kitchen.
Now let's get to those practical steps for navigating the holidays and those sticky expectations. I thought there was no better time to talk about this than right before Thanksgiving as we're getting ready to have family get-togethers. And those expectations are really at an all-time high. Did you know that most people struggle with depression and mental and emotional disorders around the holidays? You probably have realized it over time, but not really taken that into account. The first step I want you to do is communicate early and clearly. And I know you may be listening to this on your way to your Thanksgiving gathering, and it's okay. Let your family know ahead of time what your plans are and what your boundaries will be. If you decide not to attend a family gathering or limit your time there, communicate that as early as possible. This gives everyone time to adjust, and it sets the tone that your boundaries are firm and intentional. They're not there to hurt anyone. They're only there to protect you. Then I want you to set realistic expectations. Understand that not everyone will agree with you, and understand that these are your boundaries, and that's okay. Your job is not to make everyone happy. You people pleasing friends of mine, but your job is not to make everyone happy, but to ensure the health and well being of your immediate family. Be prepared for some pushback. Already anticipate that this is probably not going to be the easiest conversation. But also remember that these decisions that you're making, make with confidence and purpose, that you're not just reacting, you're actually taking the lead in your family to make a difference and to change things. Also, another one is offer alternatives. If you can't or don't want to spend or attend a particular family gathering, suggest an alternative way to spend time together. Maybe a smaller, more intimate setting would be better, or perhaps you could plan a separate get together at a different time that suits your family better. This allows you to honor your relationships while respecting your boundaries. I have done this so many times. And it wasn't even because I needed to set boundaries. It's literally because like my stepdad's family is huge and I don't feel comfortable with large crowds of people. I never have. They make me feel super like queasy and my palms sweat and I need some extra deodorant that day. You feel me? But I asked my mom, I was like, can we get together at a different time? Like when it's just my sister and her and my stepdad and our kids. Like that makes me feel so much more peace when our kids are out there playing and it's just not overwhelming. And it was an easy yes. And that way we got to enjoy our time in a more intimate way. And there was nothing terrible about it. It's just something that I preferred. You will be surprised at the reactions that you get as you start communicating your expectations and what you really want. This allows you to honor your relationships while still respecting your own boundaries. We actually limit the number of family gatherings we do just because we actually want to enjoy the holidays and not anticipate the moment that they're over so that we can recover. Have you ever felt that way?
Hi, friend. Want a little more joy in your inbox? Join our email list for a warm welcome and a secret family recipe, the most delicious sugar cookies with icing, perfect for any occasion. On the Grits, Grace, and Granola blog, we inspire, equip, and empower you to live life joyful in every season. Plus, dive into our blog about motherhood insights, faith, home decor, tips, and more. Sign up today and make life a little sweeter together. This link is also in our show notes, so check it out.
Another one is establish safe topics. If there's certain topics of conversation that often lead to tension or conflict, like my home birth, gently steer conversations away from these areas. It's okay to say, I'd rather not talk about that today, or let's focus on something more positive. This is about choosing peace over chaos and cultivating a positive environment for everyone involved. Now, I'm in round 2 of my home birth, so I'm a little better equipped this time to handle those conversations. If they do arise, I'll remove myself. But last year, we just opted out and decided not to participate. And sometimes you need that season of just isolation and togetherness just with your immediate family, and that's okay. Now, that leads me to leaning into your immediate family. During these times, lean into the support and love you have from your spouse and your children. Make sure your own family is united in the approach for the holiday or gathering. Have a plan for how to support each other if things get uncomfortable. Remember that you're a team and your united front will help you navigate these challenges. The next one is my favorite. Practice self-care before and after. Get your mind ready, get your heart ready before and after. Prepare yourself emotionally and spiritually before attending these events. Spend time in prayer, grounding yourself in gratitude and peace. You have the power to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. After the event, make sure that you decompress and process any emotions that came up, whether that's through journaling, talking with a trusted friend, or spending some quiet time with God, listening to music, whatever it is. Taking care of yourself helps you stay centered and aligned with your purpose. The next one is give yourself permission to leave. Yep. Sometimes the best thing you can do is leave a situation that feels unhealthy. Even if you're at a family gathering and things start to go south, it's okay just to say, we need to go now. And protect your peace before you get to a point where you feel super uncomfortable. And the well-being of your family is super important. You are allowed to choose the environments that support your values, your mental health, and emotional health. Friends, if you're feeling the weight of family expectations, remember that you are not alone. God is with you in this. There is no perfect family. You have permission to set boundaries and protect your peace. You have permission to say it's not healthy for me or my kids and to step back. And you know what? That's not only okay, it's holy. It might seem silly, but creating boundaries isn't a matter of pettiness, it's a matter of protection. It might be time to put up a fence around your life and guard that gate. Mama, you are the gatekeeper of your home. By making these choices with confidence and intention, you are cultivating a home filled with peace, joy, and love, and those are the very things that God desires for you and your family. Let's break the chains of unhealthy family dynamics and step into the freedom God has for us. You are not responsible for carrying the traditions that are harmful or maintaining relationships that are toxic, even if they're blood. You are responsible for your little ones that God has entrusted you for and creating a home that is safe and filled with joy. Here is a challenge for you this week. I want you to identify one area you need for a boundary. Pray for discernment, communicate your decision, and celebrate the peace it brings by sharing your experience with me. Come connect with me, come find me, and tell me how this episode really impacted you. You are not alone, and you have permission to set boundaries that honor God and protect your family. Let's make this Thanksgiving and this Christmas the start of healthier traditions filled with joy and peace. Keep choosing joy, friends. I'll see you next time.
Friend, let's celebrate. You've just finished another episode of There Will Be Joy. So I challenge you, find a friend to share this episode with, give them a big hug for me, and remember, keep spreading joy. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform and join our free Patreon community. And as always, leave a review if you're finding value in these episodes because it means the world to me.